Hi everyone, so very quickly, because I only have a certain amount of time to do this, I am going to introduce my topic by kind of reading off the very beginning to give you a understanding of what my topic is for my research. I am then going to very quickly talk about some of the things in my literature review, and then lastly, I'm going to discuss very quickly my methodology, or at least try to summarize it as best I can, because I have 7 minutes to do this. So, let's get started. So, scrolling on Instagram, one might come across a post that may aim to shed light on different topical issues. Unfortunately, the representation of these issues can often be misleading. One such user posted a video on Instagram talking about the funny side effects of ADHD. In this video, an individual acts out outlandish actions such as making claims that they make random noises when they are with friends while acting this out in such a cartoonish way. While these twitches they proclaim that they have, that are known as tics, are common side effects of attention deficit hyperactive disorder, the reception to this content was overwhelmingly negative. One user commented, "As someone who has ADHD, we aren't all like this, I promise." Others asked if the poster was perhaps self diagnosed, and they criticized the user's attempt at making a neurological disorder quirky. And most of these responses came from users who proclaimed to have ADHD themselves, and they were worried that people would get the wrong idea about what they were actually like, or that they would not be taken seriously because of this representation. Then another user, you could come across Richard Pink, otherwise known as at Rich Pink. This individual is a two-time best-selling author of a book called Dirty Laundry: Why Adults with ADHD Are Ashamed and What We Can Do to Help. And on his account, he goes into great detail to give quick information about different behaviors associated with neurological disorders to inform individuals on how to either cope with these disorders or interact with loved ones that are diagnosed with these conditions. So, So there is an air of uncertainty that is found outside of communication in the medical field. In the recent study on ADHD awareness, it was found that there was a varying degree of knowledge on ADHD and that there was a majority negative perception of individuals with ADHD. The study highlighted also that ADHD literacy could assist in bolstering a more positive and more informed outlook on those that are faced with ADHD. Influencers that such as Richard Pink that I just mentioned aim to do this with their informative content, and positive responses to his work indicate that this information is spreading. But through these observations, it is apparent that there is a negative connotation surrounding the preconceived notions of ADHD, and this may affect according to these medical studies, it may affect those affected with ADHD that have been diagnosed or are undiagnosed from seeking the treatment that they need in order to cope with this neurological disorder. So, the purpose of this study is to examine how social media content, specifically informative content about ADHD, shapes worldviews about this condition. It will explore how individuals diagnosed with this neurological disorder, as well as those without such diagnosis, engage with and are influenced by this topic. Um, this study will be done in the collected data will be analyzed through the lens of cultivation theory, which is essentially how media over time, constant exposure to media can affect our worldview. This was created by George Gerbner. He was first developed in the 1960s and then later published in 1976. This was originally done with television in mind, and it is the complete basis of what I'm doing this study on. um, So a lot of my literature review goes into great detail of examining the evolution of cultivation theory, such as how social media has been introduced to it. Because whenever it was first created, the biggest media medium that was out there was television. And so over time, the theory has sort of been added onto to include other media types. I've also taken a look into the communication scholarship to find information that has been published about interacting with either mental health or neurological disorders. Now, I know that that doesn't encapsulate just ADHD, but these things are somewhat related, and by them being somewhat related, being able to examine literature surrounding them in the communication scholarship is imperative to be able to understand how to structure my study going forward. Lastly, because I have to very, very, very quickly wrap this up, um, my methodology is going to be a mixed methodology. If I can scroll down, I can tell you a little bit more. I'm trying. Um, a sequential collection and individual analysis of this data will be used. Um, I'm sorry, I couldn't remember the term to save my life. I will be examining two different groups and how they react to the informative content surrounding ADHD. One group will be people that are diagnosed with ADHD. The second group will be a group that is undiagnosed with ADHD. So that way we are able to examine two different groups and how these two different groups are impacted. Um, this will consist of online surveys and semi-structured interviews, as well as content analysis on these interviews. So this is a very rough explanation of my research. I am more than happy to answer any questions that I can because I'm already over time on this video. But I hope that I get some replies on this video. I really, really, really hope that you have questions or statements that could either help myself or, again, questions that I can answer moving forward that might even help me. So, uh, thank you and have a wonderful evening.